In today's class, what we are discussing is different basic input-output operations. How we will be looking into little more detail. Actually, we will have the second module completely regarding this input-output unit operations only. But little more details of the most basic input-output operations we are just discussing. And we'll move into the first one. What it is trying to tell is the data on which the instructions operate is not necessarily already stored in the memory. So this is the structure you are having. So it is not always maybe the data will be present in the memory. Till now what we have discussed is from the memory unit the processor has taking the data. But it's not mandatory that always your data will be present in the memory. Maybe that data you can give from the user also, like in from the input device or how you are typing in the keyboard. In the same way, the data may be taken from the keyboard and that will be directly taken into the processor. So that is one more way for getting the data for the processor. So it is not always mandatory that your data should be either in the processor register or it in the memory. Instead of that, it may be coming into from the input device. So in that time, what is the problem? Already we have discussed input devices will be or output devices will be very slow compared to the processor speed. So there will be a mismatch in the data transfer rate. So there is a need for synchronizing this input device with the processor speed. So when I was explaining this in the first module itself, I told for that they will be keeping a buffer, a small storage area between this input device and processor. So processor will be input device will be keeping the data in the buffer or in the small storage area, and from that storage area directly when that storage area is full, the processor will be taking the data directly. So uh, that was the overview I have given to you. We will discuss little more uh, in details regarding this operation, what all are the registers involving in that, how that is happening. That is little more details we'll be discussing in today's session. So data need to be transferred between processor and outside world. That may be from the keyboard, any of the input device, or even from the disk it is reading the data directly. So I/O operations are essential. The way they are performed have a significant effect on the performance of a computer. So only one thing you should know from this slide is from the input device also processor is taking data directly. So how it is doing, we are just seeing. Then what is meant by program controlled I/O? So what is the meaning of program controlled I/O? If the program inside a CPU monitors the registers for that I/O transfer, it is called a program controlled I/O. That means there is a program which will be present inside the processor, and based on that program's instruction, based on that program will be executing inside the processor. Based on that, the actions will be performing. What action? From the input device, the data will be transferring to the processor. In the same way, from the processor, the result will be transferring directly to the output device. And that will be monitored by a program in the CPU or program in the processor, and that is called program controlled I/O. So what are the I/O operations example? Read a character input from the keyboard. Or in I already told, so that will be taken from the keyboard to the processor, and then similarly produce a character output on the display screen. So whatever for example, I am pressing A from the keyboard, that A is visible on the screen. So how that data transfer is possible? That is what, if I am typing in a word A, I have typed from the keyboard, that A is visible on the screen. How that is possible, we are discussing in this session. So already I told the difference in speed between the processor and I/O device will be making synchronizing the data transfer between this operation, because the speed of processor will be high. The I/O devices, input output devices will be working very slow compared to the processor speed. So the data transfer rate may be 1 billion data bits will be processing by the processor in 1 millisecond. The input output devices will be transferring only 1000 bytes of data. So 1000 bits of data. So in that time, that speed mismatch will be there. So processor should wait until it should get the data from the input device. So that in that case, a synchronization between these devices is required. What is one solution they have developed is first processor will be sending the first character. It is just telling about with respect to the output device. First processor is having a value that is a that I have given from my keyboard that was stored in the processor registers, and from there it is trying to transfer into the output device. How it will be transferring? The one scheme of doing this, because of the speed mismatch, what was the thing it was doing is processor will be sending that first character to the output device and waiting a signal from the output device that it has received that first signal. Then if the processor was getting an signal back from the output device, it will be sending the second character. So that was one way, that is like an acknowledgement scheme. So first character it will be sending into the output device. Device will be giving a signal like it has already got the first character. Then it will acknowledge back into the processor that it received it. Then the processor will send the second character. So that way it was proceeding, but still it will be having a loss of processor speed, and it will affect the processor efficiency. So we are coming with a buffer scheme. This is what I have told you. So you can see this is the input device you are having. I am assuming that the input device is the keyboard. This diagram is important. This is the only thing I am telling now. Till now, only one point you should remember, that is the data will be taken from the input device to the processor, or even the processed result can be sent from the processor to the output device. The devices will have a speed mismatch, so that we need to find out certain synchronization schemes. So this is the result of that synchronization scheme. So we'll see, this is the input device what we are having, the keyboard, and the display device want to display. So here I am to type the character A from the keyboard. I want to display that character in the display device. Please listen, this is only 5 minutes you listen, that is enough for this thing, you just understand. So I told a buffer will be there, that is a small storage area will be present along with your input device, and that is called data in register. For input, there is a small buffer or small storage area along with any input device, and that small storage area is called data in, or that is the register for storing the device input what I am giving from the keyboard. Along with that, it will be having a 1-bit location. Already you will studied about flags, zero flag, and all those time I was telling like it is a 1-bit location. So similarly, along with your input device, one storage area will be there, that is called the buffer, and that for corresponding to input device, the buffer name is data in. And other than that, 1-bit location is also there, that will be working like a flag. So it can take only 1 bit of location, either it will be 1 or it will be 0. So processor, instead of checking how processor will get to know that whether data in register is full or not, instead of transferring the first character from here to here, it will be taking time. So what it was doing is from the keyboard device, it will be keeping all the data in the data in register. Once data in register is full, what will happen is once data in register is full, your SIN will be updated to 1. So SIN is the flag which is associated with the input device. So once the data in register is full, then the flag will be set to 1. So instead of check how processor can check that whether the data in register is full or not, processor will directly check what is the status of SIN flag. If SIN flag is 1, that means from the input device it has read the input and it was stored in the data in register, and data in register is full. So that time your SIN will be having value 0. If processor is again coming and checking that what is the value of SIN, and if SIN value is 0, it means that No, still your data in register is not full. So processor can use for some other uses. Processor time can be used for other purpose. So that is what the processor working, and with respect to the input device things. So only two registers, one register will be associated with the input device, that is called a data in register, and one flag is there. So these register and flag together will make the device interface. This registers and flag that will be together with the together will make a device interface. So I was telling about the drivers. So keyboard driver or keyboard interface, that means mainly the components are, one is data in register and one is the SN flag. So when from the keyboard, if the data was reading into the data in register and SN flag is set to 1, that means your data in register is completely filled. That time the complete data from the data in register will be moving from data in register to your processor. That processor where you can store the data. Inside the processor we will have storage area. What we will be called that storage area? What we can call the storage area inside the processor?
Cache.
Cache memory is there, registers are there. So inside the register or general purpose register, we have studied about different registers. So once that complete data was filled in the data in register, that data will be completely transferring from the data in register to the registers what is present inside the processor. So that is all about input device. So when you press A, that A will be coming into the data in register. And once the data in register is full, if assume that your data in register is having only 8 bits of storage. So that time when you are pressing the first character itself, your data in register will be directly coming to data in register. So that time itself, your when first character A is filled in data in register itself, your data in register is full because one character will be taking 8 bits. So immediately your SIN register will be, or SIN flag will be set to 1. So that will be taken directly to the processor register. That will be with respect to the input device. In the similar way, what is this data out register, a data out buffer, and S out. So this is the flag and this is the register. So this is the register you are having in the output device. Similar to this is the flag you are having. Similar to your input device, you will be having the output device also. So when transferring the data from the processor to the output device, that will be because the processing speed of the output device will be slow. So what it will be doing is processor will send all the data to the output device, and output device means into the data out register, and it will be from that is the only thing processor will do. Then from the data output register to your display device, how that transfer will be happening, that is will be doing internally inside the display device. So what is the S out, when this S out flag will be set and when this S out flag will be reset? When your display device is ready for displaying a character or the data, displaying the data, that time your S out will be set to 1. What is this S out status is telling? When the display device is ready to display the data, that time your S out will be keeping the value 1. If the display device is already busy for displaying some other characters, that time your S out value will be 0. So when the display device is ready for displaying the character, that time S out will be 1. And processor, similar to input device, processor won't check what is the content of data out and all. Processor will just check what is the status of S out. If processor was find out that S out is 1, that means the display device is ready for displaying the thing. So that time, whatever the data processor wants to display to the display device will be taken and it will be storing into the data out register. So this is the complete working of the display device. So in the input device, you will be having one register called data in, and SIN is the flag associated with it. Both together, register and flag together will be calling as a device interface. In the display device, you will be having similar to data in, you will be having a register called data out. And similar to SIN flags, you will be having an S out flag. When you are inputting the data from the keyboard, that will be storing in the data in register. Once data in register is full, your SIN flag will be set to 1. Processor will check the status of SIN flag. When SIN flag is 1, that time from the data in register, the data will be taken and it will be storing in the processor. In the second case, when the display device is ready for displaying the content, SOUT flag will be set to 1. So processor will be checking the status of SOUT flag. If SOUT flag is 1, that means the device is ready for displaying. That time the data whatever processor wants to display in the display device will be taken from the processor and storing in the data out register. This is the complete working of the program controlled IO. So the same thing as an instruction it was written. You can see if SN is equal to 0, what is the thing? If SN is having the value 0, what is the thing it should do? Processor should wait, correct? Because what it was telling like your data in register is not full. When SN is having value 1, then the data transfer will be happening. That means the buffer will be full so that it will be transferring from the data in register to the processor register. That has written like read wait is just a label. It is just an address, or you can read wait any name you can give, that is just like a variable name. Read wait branch to read wait means again and again, if this condition satisfies, it will be coming back to read wait only. So it means that if SN is equal to 0, SN is equal to 0 means your data in register is not full. So that time the processor should wait. So what will happen? Branch to read wait means if SN is equal to 0, again it is coming to this statement. And again branch to read wait if SN equal to 0. Again processor will be checking what is the value of SN. That time again it is 0. Again it is coming into the same statement. Repeatedly it is checking the same if SN value is 0, repeatedly the same set of instruction or same set of statement will be executing. Otherwise, if Sn is equal to 1, that is the next statement. Otherwise, the complete that loop itself, it will be executing. It is like you will be having a while loop condition. You will be while 1 then semicolon if you put means that will be continuously executing in that statement itself. So that similarly, if that statement, it means that if branch to read wait if Sn is equal to 0, it means Sn is equal to 0 means always the same statement is executing. Again it is branching to read wait. Read wait is the statement itself. Otherwise, what should happen? That means Sn is having the value 1 means the data transfer should happen. That means your data in register is full. Transfer it from data in register to processor. So processor register is R1, that you know. So from the data in register to R1 data transfer will happen. Similarly for write also, what will happen? If SOUT is equal to 0, that means the display device is not ready. That time again and again SOUT is equal to 0, display device is not ready. So again and again it is coming into write wait thing, right branch to write wait. So that again and again the same statement will be executing until SOUT value becomes 1. If SOUT value becomes 1, then what will be the data should transfer? From the processor, the data will be transferring to data out register. From the processor means that is your R1 register. From R1 to data out, data transfer is happening. It is not mandatory that you should write a read wait. You can write simply wait or anything. Any name you can give, but the same name you should write here also. Okay, next is actually this data in and SIN register where it will be storing. So that is even though it is a memory, so the corresponding to that memory, there will be a separate memory will be allocating, a special memory will be allocating, or you can even allocate a memory block inside the memory unit itself. So that is called a memory mapped IO. This is also in some other way the same set of statement has written. You can read wait, test bit. It is in a status bit instead of checking s in value. You will be having an input status register. It's the third which will be deciding the s in. It's not required, but it is there in the syllabus textbook, so I was just included. So SN is the third bit in the status register. What is status register? When I was explaining the conditional code flag, I told there will be a register which will be having only flags as its content. So first one is a zero flag, second one is a overflow flag, third one is the SN register is our assumption. So third bit is the SIN register of your status flag. Status flag means only the flags which will be stored as a content inside a register, that is called status flag. So what is the thing it is taking? If SIN third bit in the status flag will be checking, that is SIN value. If branch 0 means if this SN is equal to 0, branch will be 0. In that case, again it is going to read wait function. Otherwise, this is the register. This register is called as input status register. That is the meaning of in status. Just one variable. I think you can write even some other variable also. It's not mandatory. In status is the name of the status register you are having in the input device. So I told each bit, each location will be storing one or other set of flags. Maybe next one will be the negative flag. Next one will be the carry flag. So this is the total flag structure I am having, that as a register I am stored. So that in that third bit will be representing your SIN value. So it means that test third bit of the status register, that is your SIN bit. If that bit is equal to 0, automatically branch will be 0. So branch is equal to 0 means again that means your input buffer is not full. So you should call again read wait function. Otherwise, you can just move the content from the data in register to R1. This is not important, but this is important. These two you should study. That will be actually what is the explanation I have given over here. That is same thing as an instruction has written over here. So here you can see what is the drawback of this. Again and again the processor should check what is the, you can see two continuous looping structures we were using. See, here also you are having a wait until your SIN is set to, SIN is set to 1, you should wait. That is one wait in the reading process. And similarly, in the writing process also, processor should wait until your S out will be equal to 1. So that is the two waiting loops will be present inside the this current scheme. So for alternative solution is the interrupt. So with a given priority, we can insert interrupt into the processor so that it will stop. Already the interrupt concept I was introduced to you. So it was like when whatever the processor is doing, that work will be stopped and it is doing the most priority work what processor wants to do. So that is called interrupt. So that is one way for solving this issue. Here also we will have two set of waits from the processor side, one for making the SIN flag to 1 and the other one is S out to be 1. So that problem can be avoided through an interrupt. Okay, stacks we'll discuss in the next class.